Hello, I'm again James Wotton, and this is another video in which I quickly go through some archive things that I've already tweeted about. So, the first quantum error correction paper in the week was this one, explicit method to make shortened stabilizer EAQECC from stabilizer QECC. And this is quantum communications mostly. So quantum error correction can be used to keep your qubits nice and error-free inside a quantum computer, allowing you to actually do fault-tolerant quantum computation. And that's the way I mostly think of quantum error correction. But another way you can use it is for quantum communications, when you're wanting to encode some quantum information so you can send it off uh, somewhere else for them to decode it. And one thing that is often used in these kind of quantum communication routines, be they error correction based or not, is to have some shared entanglement between the sender and the receiver, and then you can do all kinds of fancy stuff. And in this case, the fancy stuff is unique kinds of quantum error correcting codes. And what they showed is that if you create error correcting codes out of stabilizer codes, then the thing that you get at the end is a stabilizer code. And there's a lot of mathematical uh, machinery behind stabilizer codes that make them nice. So you get all of that nice mathematical machinery. Now, this isn't something that I know a lot of the background around, so it could be that this is something that people already knew, or it could be something that's completely new, but I think it seems like something that could be pretty useful for people who do quantum error correction in quantum communication. So the next thing to look at is an error mitigation technique, and this involves the same sort of check operations that you check in a quantum error correcting code, but you're not actually doing quantum error correction. So all of the overheads that you need in quantum error correction aren't required for this. It's just using some of the techniques. And this isn't something that is completely new. In fact, these kind of check operations in some contexts, when they're not so formal as they are in a normal quantum error correcting code, you might call them uh, flag operations. So you're checking these flag qubits. And in that context, I think that some work in this direction has already been done. And so this was actually pointed out to me in the comments. So you've got a couple more bonus papers that you can see there by someone who's worked in this specific field. Because quantum error correction is so big, it's hard to keep track of everything. And this isn't actually quantum error correction, this is error mitigation inspired by quantum error correction. Fields are so big. And here's me making videos that people like you, the viewer, might hope will broaden your horizons. And I'm saying, well, I don't even know all of the work that's been done here. If that does anything to educate you, at least may it educate you that as much as you never have to expect to know everything. Okay, so this is the paper as well that I've got open here. It's got text, it's got equations, it's got black and white circuits. Oh yes, that's a paper. Um, and the graphs look quite nice as well. Completely untechnical comment there on the color scheme and the graphs. I have no idea if they're any good for people who have color blindness issues, but nevertheless, they look quite nice to me. Now, another thing to talk about is not in any way based on quantum error correction, but it is a paper that I'm an author of, so I'm taking this opportunity to point it out. It is a game on quantum games. Sorry, a paper on quantum games. So lots of people have come up with games that maybe they're about quantum physics, or they are citizen science projects that involve quantum physics, or they use Qiskit, even though it would be much simpler if they didn't use Qiskit to do whatever simple thing they're doing in their game. And this is just kind of a review paper of everything people have done. It's been quite interesting to work with Laura who's the main author, to put this together. And what else to say? Oh yeah, there's the paper. It's got some pictures. This is Space War, arguably the first computer game. Not in any way quantum, but oh, love a bit of Space War. The next thing to mention is the big stew. Why did I say stew? I think I was going for story and the news, and it came out stew. Never thought of that before. Anyway, before I go on so long that I have to edit it out, this is the big stew that Xanadu have achieved the thing where you prove that your quantum computer can do things that can't be done classically, whatever it is that you call that. So it's not the thing where you do something that can't be done classically and is solving a useful problem that people want to solve, which is another thing, which you would hope had a different name. But it's the thing where you prove that you have a device that can do things that other devices, classical computers, cannot. And their device is also in the cloud that you can play with. So it's pretty cool. It's pretty cool. So importantly, they aren't just making claims. Oh, it looks like this video is sponsored by Lufthansa because there's an advert sneaking in at the top there. Lufthansa, from what I hear, are not the world's greatest airline. So I just thought I would, you know, put that anti-sponsoring in there as well. So this is the Nature paper. This is a paper in the journal Nature. It's peer-reviewed, so this is not just Xanadu saying random nonsense. It does have a paper behind it, which is always good to see. Okay, I think achieve a quantum computer achieving what no classical computer can do is a nice thing from this week. So I suppose let's end it there. Thank you for watching. Have a good weekend. And if it's a long weekend, have an even better weekend. Bye.